Really interesting thing is for instance, what's called, authors wrote about this a few years ago, called the meat factor. These are more or less unidentified factors within meat that can actually result or enhance the uptake of things like zinc and iron and choline. So these are cofactors that actually result in an uptake greater. So they're kind of like chaperones or facilitators of that, right? And that's why you get it within a complex whole food matrix. You typically see that 1 + 1 is 3, or you get more bang for your buck. And what's really, really interesting, and I think this speaks to sort of this synergy in omnivorous diets within humans, is that if we eat beef with beans, we might actually have a higher uptake of the zinc and the non-heme iron from the beans, because there's these cofactors within beef that actually result in an uptake, right? And what we talked about earlier is that maybe some of those compounds if you have chili with beans in them, or maybe you throw some parsley in it, is that those compounds might actually negate some of the, what we think of negatives within the meat. So if you look at me as a human, is that, or from a human nutrition standpoint, I think there's many benefits to be obtained from animal source foods and plant source foods, because they have, while there's also overlap, they also have very unique metabolites. And, if you, from a sensory perspective, and I realize this is subjective, if you want to, you're not eating meat, but you want to have sort of this mouthfeel and taste of a hamburger, that's the reason to consume a plant-based meat alternative designed to mimic meat. But from a nutritional standpoint, it's important that people realize that this is not a one-to-one replacement.
What about milk? So, and it's very intuitive. You mentioned earlier that obviously a grain-fed animal, a grass-fed animal, they're going to be different in terms of their milk as well, not just their meat. I want to ask you in particular about raw versus pasteurized milk from a metabolomics, nutrient content, phytochemical perspective. Obviously, we can talk about, infection probability and, things can go bad.